You know, when you hear the name Michael Phelps, your mind probably jumps to one thing: Olympic gold. I mean, the guy's name is basically a synonym for winning. But behind all those medals, there's a fascinating story of incredible highs and, well, some really tough lows. So let's get into it.
All right, let's start with a number that is just kind of hard to wrap your head around: 28. That is the total number of Olympic medals Michael Phelps won. That's more than any other athlete in the entire history of the Games, period.
And it gets even crazier. Out of those 28 medals, a staggering 23 of them are gold. That isn't just a record, you guys. That puts him on a whole different planet. And that really gets to the heart of it, right? Because those stats, as mind-blowing as they don't tell the full story, not even close. To really get what makes him great, you have to understand the person, the journey. And believe it or not, that journey starts with well, a kid who didn't really fit in.
So, Phelps first got into swimming when he was 7, mostly because his mom was looking for an outlet for all his crazy energy. He was diagnosed with ADHD, and on top of that, other kids would bully him. But here's what's so amazing about his story. He took all of that, the energy, the frustration, and he channeled it. The pool became his escape, his focus, the one place where being different became his superpower.
And wow, did that focus pay off? By the 2000 Sydney Olympics, he was just 15 years old, and he made the team. He didn't actually win a medal there, but that wasn't the point. He put the entire swimming world on notice. A prodigy had just arrived on the scene.
Okay, now let's fast forward 8 years. It's the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Phelps isn't just some prodigy anymore. No, he's standing on the edge of history with a kind of pressure on his shoulders that most of us can't even imagine.
The goal was just audacious. He wanted to break Mark Spitz's legendary 1972 record of 7 gold medals in one Olympics. But Phelps wasn't aiming for 7. He was aiming for 8. It was a feat so big, so out there, that most people thought, no way, it's impossible. And the drama was just off the charts. Right before his 7th race, the 100-meter butterfly, his biggest rival, Milorad Chavich, dropped this bomb of a quote. The whole world was basically holding its breath to see if this some guy was really going to be the one to stop him. What happened next was, no joke, one of the most insane races ever. Phelps was trailing pretty much the whole time. It looked like Chavich had it won, but in the very last moment, with this tiny little half stroke, Phelps just touched the wall first. He got his 7th gold. And then this image. This is the pure joy after he and his teammates secured the 8th and final gold, completing the impossible. And just look at these numbers. Seriously, look how close it was. He won by 1/100th of a second. That's the smallest margin possible in swimming. It was literally the difference between making history and being a heartbreaking footnote. And with that last win in the relay, he did it. 8 events, 8 gold medals. The 36-year-old record wasn't just broken, it was shattered. It was absolute, undeniable athletic perfection. But here's the thing. What do you do after you've achieved perfection? Well, for Michael Phelps, climbing the highest mountain in sports led him straight into the darkest valley of his life. After all that success, especially after London in 2012, Phelps was just fried, burnt out. In his own words, he was done with swimming. He retired, ready to leave the pool behind forever. But without the routine, without the goals, Phelps was lost. We saw the public stuff, the viral photo in 2009, a second DUI in 2014. Those were the cracks showing. But what was going on privately was so much darker. He later opened up about a crippling depression, even admitting that he'd thought about suicide. It's hard to believe, but the greatest Olympian ever was at rock bottom. But from that absolute low point, he found a brand new reason to get back in the water. This time, it wasn't about the records. It wasn't about the medals. It wasn't for anyone else. This time, he just wanted to swim for himself. He wanted to actually enjoy it. And that complete shift in his mindset, it set the stage for one of the greatest comebacks in sports history, his final run at the 2016 Rio Olympics. And honestly, nothing shows his transformation better than these two pictures. On the left, that's the 2008 Phelps, an intense, isolated swimming machine. But on the right, that's 2016. He's smiling, he's carrying the flag, he's a team captain, a mentor, a new dad. He was a completely different person.
And that comeback put a cap on a career that is just staggering in its length. I mean, think about it. 5 Olympic Games. He went from being that 15-year-old kid in Sydney to the 31-year-old living legend in Rio. And get this for a final wow moment. In Rio, he won his 13th individual gold medal. And in doing so, he broke an ancient Olympic record for the most individual wins, a record that had been standing for 2,168 years. It was set by a guy named Leonidas of Rhodes way back in 152 BC. I mean, that's history on another level. Which kind of leaves us with this one last question. Michael Phelps's story, it isn't just about the number 28 or 23. It's a story about perfection, a painful fall, and an incredible redemption. So it makes you wonder, what's the real measure of greatness? Is it the records that no one can touch? Or is it the strength to come back from the bottom and write your own ending?